Welcome to the Drop the Needle podcast, your backstage pass to the corporate jungle. I'm your host, Jim Allstott, and here, industry titans step up to the mic, sharing their epic journeys. We're hitting the high notes and the low notes of their careers, creating a symphony of success. This isn't just another interview show, it's where truth bombs are dropped and secrets are revealed. So grab your conductor's baton because who knows, this just might help you compose the next huge hit of your career. Are you ready? Let's go. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Drop the Needle podcast. I am your host, Jim Allstott, and I'm so happy you all decided to join us for part 3 of our 3-part series coming out of the spiritual closet. Okay, I'm happy to bring back our very special guest, Irene Doreste, all the way from Long Island, New York, to continue with part 3. And don't worry, if you didn't listen to part 1 and 2, it's not too late to download it and enjoy. All you have to do is go to dtnpodcast.podbean.com, where you'll find a link to like, follow, and subscribe to the Drop the Needle podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Okay, so in part 1, we covered intuition and energy, and in part 2, we covered signs and synchronicities. And in part 3, we'll be covering angels, guides, and guess what? There's a special treat, a card reading. And again, a little background on our guest. Irene is an RN who worked at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in the Neurology and Orthopedics Department. She is a Reiki master, an integrated energy practitioner. She's also a transformational life coach and a mindset trainer who works with adults, kids, and teens. She happens to be the founder and owner of Soul Surgery Life Coaching. And don't forget, she is a spiritual medium. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me in welcoming my friend, Irene Doreste. Welcome, Irene.
Good, thank you. And welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Angels is my favorite topic. They're everywhere. I talk to them every single day, and the magic that starts to open up when you dive into the angelic realm is just mind-blowing. So I'm so happy to be here to explain to you the hierarchy of angels and why they're here, and just a little bit of history behind it, and just to open your curiosity to see what angels resonate with you and which ones are here for you. And it's going to be a great episode. So I'm so excited to get started.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's start out with angels. And you mentioned hierarchy. So you have your regular Joe angel, you have your special occasion angel. I don't know what you call it. And then I think a lot of people understand archangels. So, well, maybe they don't understand it, but they've at least heard of the term archangels. Why don't you go ahead and discuss that a little bit? Maybe tell everyone what the differences are.
Okay, perfect. So before I start talking about angels, we always want to recognize spirit energy, right? And in order to understand, we think every angel has a halo and big wings and they come, you know what I mean? And it's very, the angelic presence, and, you see clouds in the skies that are shaped as angels. That's, definitely part of it. But what it is their spirit energies, right? So when we go back into last episode, or even the first episode that we did about energy, that everything is energy, we all have our own signature vibration, and we all have our own signature spirit. So usually when we first start talking about angels I want you to start recognizing what your spirit energy feels like, because we all have that, our own unique frequency and our own unique signature spirit. So, and when I say that, it's what, if I wasn't in the room or a loved one wasn't in the room, imagine them being right there. What is their spirit? Are they happy? Are they excited?
Right.
Are they, free flowing? Are they rigid, constricted? What is their spirit usually like? So just kind of, just to get started is just to close your eyes and kind of imagine what lights you up in the world, right? What do you feel your inner spirit really feels like? So just like for Jim, for an example,
Mm-hmm.
you're sarcastic and funny and witty, right? That's your part of your spirit. If I close my
Right.
eyes and imagine you being in the room, it's all of a sudden I feel like joy and laughter, right? And openness. That's what I feel your spirit, how it shines through. So it's what makes you feel alive, what your energetic space takes up. That's your vibration, that's your own personal frequency that you're on, right? So we all have
Right.
our own unique signature. So it's the same thing with the angelic realm, but they just vibrate at a very high frequency. So when we talk about archangels and our guardian angels, spirit guides, they all vibrate at a different frequency. So when you want to get to know them, it's the same, you're going to get the same feeling, right?
So,
So
so are you saying like then you kind of match their frequency or their vibration when you fall into that? I want to,
yeah,
when you
so
kind
when
of
you're
slip into
invoking
that.
an angel and when you're asking them for assistance, or
Mhm.
they'll swoop in and assist, right?
Okay.
They're always at 24/7. They're always ready to intervene. But what you want to do, if you want to connect to them and really feel their presence and feel their vibe, their what frequency they're on, that's when we go into like the meditation. You can meet your guardian angel, you can meet the ascended masters, and you can feel the colors, the vibration, and their essence. So I'm gonna go over all the archangels with you so that
Perfect.
you can kind of feel, so it will describe a little bit of their essence, so that
Hmm.
when you get to choose who you want to work with. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
so I mean, it's so you can ask a specific. So you're saying you can ask a specific archangel for whatever their area of expertise is? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying? Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Cool.
And with that being said, yes, you can. But the connection to the angelic realm is always through prayer. Whatever, prayer you resonates with you, anything that you feel connects you to the angelic realm, you can't mess it up. There's no
Okay.
there's no mistakes. And
Well,
most,
that's good to know.
yeah, and I believe
Screw
most
something up.
I think almost all religions, the one thing that they agree upon, the one thing that overlaps in every single religion, is the connection to the angelic realm.
Mm,
And
okay.
and it's very interesting that because being Catholic, growing up, it's all the saints and angels, and we learn about that through religion. And I think in Hinduism,
Right.
or Judaism, they believe in Archangel Metatron as like their signature angel, and
Hmm.
then the Islamic culture also have their angels that they pray to. So it's very interesting because it's the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So
Hmm.
the Holy Spirit is really the angelic realm. So it ties in through all cultures and all religions, and that's the one thing that they all do agree upon, that the Holy Spirit or the angelic realm is here to guide us on this school of earth. They're
Hmm.
here to guide us um, through our lives. But what
Okay.
happens is we forget, and we're here and we're human and we're living our human existence, and we forget to call on our angels. And a lot of them cannot intervene unless we ask for help, right? Because there's free will. So
Kind of like a
when
vampire. You can't come into your house unless you invite them in or something.
no, yep. You don't open the door, they're not
Yeah.
allowed in, right?
Right.
So we want to be mindful that when we are calling on our angels, we want to ask them for help in whatever guidance that you need or whatever area of your life that you need, and you want to be set the intention. That's what you're doing, that you're inviting in the angelic realm to help you, calling on the angel that best suits you, right? Sometimes you can say, for the highest good of all concerned, right? So that
Gotcha. Yeah.
and then the angel that will come in to help you. And you don't for the people that are new to angels, you don't have to know specifically which one to work with. When you say, can you please intervene in this situation and for the good of all concerned, for the highest good of all concerned, that appropriate angel will be there to help you.
Okay.
So, but when you study angels and when you study energy work and we call in specific angels to help us, it becomes fun. So with that being said, everyone is born with their own personal guardian angel. The second you come into this world, there is an angel beside you that is like almost like the messenger that you've arrived. Right. And if when that child comes into the earth, it's like that joy, right? And the excitement. And even if, God forbid something is going wrong, the angels are all around to present this, newborn into the world.
Gotcha.
And that angel stays with you your entire life until you take your last breath. So,
okay.
Mhm.
So when that happens, because you had mentioned the archangels, so the guardian angel is different than the archangel.
Yes. So there's a I can never say the word
hierarchy
of angels. So the first, I want to say line of defense is your guardian angel. You can just use that one. You can get to know that one. You can invoke that one. You can, develop a connection and a relationship with that guardian angel, and they never leave your side. You can call on them in a snap.
And that person was an earthly body at one point in time.
No.
Okay.
No, your guardian angel is never been incarnated in in human form.
Gotcha.
Neither were any of the archangels. Now there's 7 major archangels. There's about 27 that I've studied that all have specific jobs. And what the archangels are the closest to God. Right. So they're like his if you think of a football team, right, they're his starting lineup.
Yeah.
Right. They're the ones that are closest to God. And
Gotcha.
then, when they go down, then you have your helper angels and your healing angels, and then you have your spirit guides. Now your spirit guides have incarnated in human form.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Gotcha.
With that. And those are the ones that can relate to certain situations that are going on in your life because they've experienced.
They've walked that path. Right. Okay.
And so you can always, then I always had the question, I'm like, so our loved ones that have passed aren't really angels, they're spirit guides.
So that's what you're saying. They're not your guardian angel. Guardian angels different. Your guides are
right. They are our angels, in heaven. They, and we usually use that term. But when you're connecting with them, they become your spirit guides.
Gotcha.
They're going to assist you through life. But with that being said, you have to give them permission to intervene because it's free will. So angels will guide you, and they will protect you, and they will always, provide the assistance, sometimes in not ways that you think, right? Sometimes they show up in different ways. But if you don't ask permission and you aren't ready to step through the door, like they'll open the doors for a new opportunity. But if you're still stuck in fear or, regret or need forgiveness, and you won't be able to, no angel can really help you if you're not willing
to help yourself.
Right? Just say like, what's the winning lottery ticket, and go into the store and boom, there you go. Or
that'd be awesome.
But you can ask them to help me pay my bills. Find abundance that I'll be able to do the things that I need to do. So we'll get into that because you can ask your angels for really anything, and
I'm wondering if mine have. I have the angel of the bruised forehead from slapping himself in the head for as many times as I fuck up.
But you call on your angel for compassion for yourself and to be able to laugh at your mistakes, and they're all learning lessons. So
lots of laughing in my life.
Yeah, and there are all angels that will help you I think Raphael is the angel that you need to work on because it's helping with your, releasing those negative thoughts about yourself, and
Excellent.
knowing that you're a beautiful soul living a human experience and that we have compassion and, we're here to learn and grow and to, let those negative thoughts just wash through you.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, so it's exciting, and you know me as you've listened probably in the last two episodes. I can go off on tangents and things, so I want to stick. We'll stick right to
The
our main
angels
topic
and the guides and everything.
the archangel. So first,
Yeah,
you want to
perfect. Thank you.
recognize your spirit, right? You want to
Right.
recognize what lights you up. Everyone has their own unique gifts and talents, and we all come here to. That's your life purpose, right? Is to cultivate those creative spirit energies, within you, and that becomes your life purpose, right? So we want to really, when you want to start working with your angels, start thinking about what lights you up in the world. Is it paint? It doesn't have to be, creative like painting and dancing and music, but those are usually the key players when it comes to cultivating your creativity. Or do you have a business mind or a healing energy? Are you a healer? Are you a good listener? Where does your
What'd you say? No, I'm not good.
oh yeah,
No.
yeah, definitely not you. So when you really starting to get curious and really think about the angelic realm, remember you are a spirit energy yourself. And all the loved ones and people around you are too. So start practicing, even your pets, right? Even your
Right.
pets, start noticing their spirit. You know what I mean? Are they, proud when you give them, they come out of the doggy groomer and they're all,
Right.
shaved, or
Strutting it. Yeah.
like my black lab used to just love to roll around in the dirt. That was his spirit. Like whatever mischief he could get into, that was my dog's spirit. So start wrapping your head around what that means, because everyone always thinks it's outside yourself, but it's really within. Everything
That's
is
cool.
really within us. And then, like I said, everyone's born with their own guardian angel from, the moment they're born to the day they die. And then we move into the archangels. The archangels are the closest to God.
Mm-hmm.
They're his spiritual backup team. There's Archangel Metatron oversees all. We call him the gatekeeper. He oversees all the archangels and spirit guides. And then Sandalphon is the gatekeeper of the natural world, and that angel helps us with our soul's purpose. And you can call on. People say they're hymns, hers. There's stories that Metatron and Sandalphon are the only two angels that did live a human experience. And that's why their job is the gatekeeper. So in all the other angels end with an EL. So Metatron and Sandalphon are the only two that don't. And they said that's because they were in human form and their job is the gatekeeper. Metatron gives your messages to God, and Sandalphon helps us down here in the earthly plane to help us with our creativity and our life's purpose. And that's their big roles.
Okay.
But, in Hebrew, it means shining light. So every other angel ends in an EL. So that's how you could tell the difference. If you're calling on specific angels, if it ends in an EL, that means that they're angels that have never
been on Earth,
incarnated here.
Okay.
So then everybody knows Archangel Michael, right? He's the number one guy, right? Most people usually call on Archangel Michael, and he's one of the most important messengers. And they all come. So, like I said, they're not always with a halo and big wings, right? They do have an essence. They do have a spirit energy, and usually he comes with the sword, right? He's no nonsense, cutting cords, cutting through the bullshit, letting go of things that no longer serve you. And he was always the archangel of protection. right? So if you're trying something new or you need to face your fears, you call on Archangel Michael to help with protection and to cut away those limiting beliefs that you have. And then the next second in command is Archangel Gabriel. And usually he's like a white light, and I love Archangel Gabriel because they help to clear emotions. Just calming your doubt, calming your fears, it helps you with confidence. When you're angry or, you need forgiveness, Archangel Gabriel will help you clear those kind of emotions. The next one I think is Raphael. I work with Archangel Raphael all the time. Is usually a green light, like a green essence. It's from your heart chakra.
Heart chakra, right?
And Archangel Raphael's like your best friend. The one that you can laugh with, the one that's going to be by your side. And it's like, we got this. Why are you stressing out? That's how Archangel Raphael kind of speaks to me, is more like, why are you getting all twisted? You can do this, right? And he's going to talk to you like your very best friend.
I love that.
Gets rid of those old beliefs, right? Boosting your creativity and helping you, find your purpose, but he also helps you find stuff. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, you can call on Raphael to help you when you're finding stuff. And I believe Uriel too, because the next one is Archangel Uriel, who usually presents herself like a ruby red, and she's the protector of material things. So like your home, your materials, good, your things, your jewelry, your computers, your cell phone. So if you're having technical issues, or if you lose your cell phone, and you can, if you're writing this down or taking notes, and you can look it up, on any angel website. Uriel is like a multitasker. She's like a mom, you know what I mean? You just ask her if you lose things. You're like, where is, I can't find my phone, and she'll just guide you into, finding those items that you lost.
Well, I'll give me just 1 second, because I'm gonna interject something, because in our preparation for the show, we talked about calling all angels and different things like that, and it just so happened that my wife had lost her wedding ring, and she lost it. It was gone since Monday or something like that. And usually she'll leave it laying around, and I'll take it from her and hide it or something like that, and go, well, I don't know, I haven't seen it. Better, maybe take better care of it or something. Maybe the dog ate it or what have you. So she immediately, okay, it's not funny. What'd you do? Do you have it? And I was like, no, not this time. I don't. And couldn't find it. So yesterday I said, okay. And I actually said it out loud, where, all right, all you angels need a little help. I need the angel that can help me find that ring, because I've got to find it. And she found it this morning. So, and she said it was somewhere she said she had looked previously. And she said, well, it was there today. And she gave me that side eye look, like I put it there, and I really didn't. Yeah. So anyway, back to Uriel.
And that's all it takes, is to say, I need some guidance, I need some help. And you don't, like I said earlier, you don't need to know their specific name. You just need to be specific in what you need.
Which I didn't. I just,
and just say,
jewelry finder.
Help here. I can't find the ring, right? And they'll find, all of a sudden you'll just open a drawer on there, and there it is. They're guiding you subconsciously. They're just guiding you, and you just move there. They kind of, it's almost like a gentle hand just nudging you through life.
That's cool.
And it's a beautiful thing when you open up to, and trusting. And that's the biggest thing, is just having complete faith that when you ask, they will help. They will never not step in. When you ask, they will. So just be in complete faith hold your hand to your heart and say, just, I need your help. And then try your best to stay calm and grounded and let them work their magic. Right? So you can't say, oh, I need help, and then just go on and buzz around your day and then, not do the work. You got to be open to listen to their guidance. And that's where, we usually mess up, is because they're like, I talk to my angels all the time. They never hear me. They never answer my prayers, but they do. But we just go back into our humanness, and
It's mostly we don't listen then, or we don't.
Listen. So you need to be open and not listening with our minds, listening with your intuition and your heart. Right, in that heart space, and then just
which
let
is
go.
Different, obviously.
And it is very different. And when you start living from that heart space and not that ego, logical mind all the time, and when you're asking, for the assistance, you have to be mindful that I have to now listen, and I have to now pay attention and trust my inner guidance, because if we don't trust it, you miss it.
All right.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of building off of the other stuff that we were talking about in the previous episodes, or the parts of the series too, with being open, being an open vessel, or just an open body to what's presented. Because if you're not, you just flit on by it.
Yeah, because we're all, clear and open channels, but if we're paying attention. And when you have that awareness, once you have the awareness, you can't unknow what you know, right? So whoever's listening to these 3 episodes, now that you can't unknow it. So now when you get these intuitive hits and you ask for, the guidance, you're going to hear it. But now the question is, are you going to trust it? And that's like working.
Very different.
Right?
That's very different.
So you want to work that muscle of getting those intuitive hits, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, and just imagine that angel wing just guiding you, floating through your life. They're there for protection. They're there for your guidance, but we have to be open, trusting, and open to listening.
Right.
And and then the rest of my heavy hitters are Ragul, who I used to use all the time because they are the peacekeepers.
I thought you were going to say something about pasta.
Keep everyone on their best behavior. And I would use it when my kids needed to be quiet and we were at like a place that they couldn't act out. I would call on Ragul to help them kind of just stay normal and pretend we're a nice, normal family, that kind of situation. Or when you're like a holiday situation, when you're going in and that you're going to have some personalities and things, I would call on, I'm
going to write that one down.
Yeah. Archangel Ragul, they come with, he's like a turquoise color, and he's
my favorite.
Harmony, order, and he's the keeper of peace. So when you're in those kind of tense situations and people are going to act out, you just call on for peace and harmony.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. And Uriel, obviously, because I lose shit all the time. Yeah.
And then one of my favorites is Shamuel, and she comes as a pink color. And she's the angel of love and healing. Yeah, and she's the healer of relationships.
It's a good one to have around.
Yeah. So you want to call on her. She's pink color, usually the pink crystals, you know what I mean? Everything is always related. So when you need to have forgiveness, you need to be open in relationships. She helps you keep an open heart. So she's not going to mend relationships because it takes work, right? So she's going to allow you to keep an open heart, and she's going to help you not judge that other person. You're going to have that acceptance and see that person as a spirit, see that person as another human being that has fears, worries, and doubts of their own. So she's there to heal and mend the relationships so you can see it from a different perspective. So when you call on her, It's really about love, right? Knowing that
Okay.
your purest form is the love that's in your heart, and to be compassionate and forgiving yourself for being human, because we all move into those human moments. So she just gives us a gentle a reminder of
Okay.
compassion and to forgive ourselves and also forgive that other person, you know.
So let me ask you this. When we're talking about these angels having their own job or responsibilities or things that they specialize in, do they ever like team up
Sure.
and,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Justice
yeah.
League or Avengers,
They
come
definitely
on
do.
down.
So when you start to really dive into, their the work of the angels and what they do, they definitely come and go in your life at all different times. So they can Archangel Michael cuts the cords,
Okay.
that are blocking you. And I think it's Ariel that opens the door for you.
Oh,
So you
so that
can
makes
walk
sense that
through.
they team up then
Yeah.
because,
Right.
okay.
So, when Ariel is, she helps you stand in your power, right? And
Hmm.
helps you to be the person you're meant to be. So she will dissolve that and open the door so that Archangel Michael clears the way, like clears out the weeds,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
Ariel
Yeah. Yeah.
will
Yeah.
help you walk through.
Huh.
So, and what I was saying before is when you call on these angels and you're like, oh, I need a new job and I need this and help me, help me, help me. We don't want to, first of all, you don't ever want to come from a place of lack, right?
Yeah.
You want to come from a place of gratitude, right? And show me my next steps. Help me dissolve the fears. Help me, get real with yourself, right? You know what I mean? And say, well, what's blocking me? And when you want to ask for that kind of guidance or assistance, Archangel Michael will cut down the blocks or dissolve the blocks, and Ariel will push you through. But if you're not ready to walk through that door for a change, it's not going to work, right? So what you want to do is take a couple steps back and ask the angels to dissolve your fears, to dissolve your worries, right? And have Gabriel come in and dissolve those negative emotions so that you're ready to walk through the door. When
Which is
change,
that
when
whole
they
clearing.
present the opportunity right in front of you, we're still like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not ready for
Yeah.
that. So, and then but you always have free will.
Making space for whatever that is.
For the new opportunities.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah.
No,
They will always put them
that's
right
cool.
in front of you, but it's free will if you're going to take it or not.
Yeah. Again, that's the tough one. Everything seems simple, but it's not easy,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
and I'm always open when we talk. Is that when I started working with the angels, remember I told you my solar plexus actually had like a heartbeat, right? It was very blocked, and
Right.
I had to work on that for a while, and I had to work on dissolving those limiting beliefs. And how do I step out into this spiritual closet? How do I, tell my friends and family that this is, what I'm doing?
Right.
And it really took a while for me to, work with the angels and say, please help me dissolve these fears. Please help me know and understand what's in my way. And then I would start to get the downloads of what was really in my way. And it wasn't about, telling my mom that, I talked to angels and she's going to commit me to a loony bin. But,
Right. Right. Sorry,
it was,
mom.
yeah, it was just my belief in myself, and a lot of other, limiting beliefs that I had. So when we do this kind of work, we want to really go deep into what we feel these blocks are. Sometimes we have like heartache and betrayal. So the walls are up of love. And they're like, I need a new girlfriend. I want to, connect, human
Right.
connection. But maybe in the past we have some major walls and blocks up. So we want the angels to dissolve those. Please help me, see and know and understand what's in the way so that I can, cut through the weeds.
Well, and that's the cool thing about this. When I'm going to jump back a little bit where you were like, you can do this anytime. I mean, 24/7, what have you. Is there ever that point when, because you're somebody that does this on a regular basis, is there ever that point where you go, yeah, I'm asking too much. I don't want to be a bother. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Because there's no request too large or too small. And the angels can assist everyone simultaneously. So, and there is a joke, and some memes going on about, Archangel Michael's like, Jesus, can't they figure this shit out for themselves?
Can I get a break?
Tired of cutting all this shit, it just grows right back, right?
Right.
So no, there is no request too big or too small. You just have to be open to receive, and you really have to get real with yourself and ask them why you're asking for the assistance. You are the most powerful source. And everything comes within you. So they will give you the gentle nudge. They will give you the guidance. They will open doors and show you opportunities. But if you don't step into your power and you don't, take that first step, there's nothing that they can really do. And most people, that's where they go back and they're like, I've prayed to the angels, forever, and they never listen. But every single request is always heard. Metatron brings those requests to the angels, and they're ready to get to work.
It's probably more likely that person's not open or listening for it, or they have an ego associated ask. You know what I mean? And it seems to me that it's not about that. It's a more pure situation or essence that's happening with that. If you're looking for something that's materialistic or a personal gain, it doesn't seem like that's something that's going to resonate too well with that group,
Right. But you can't, to that specific group when they're coming from the ego base, yes. But when you're asking for assistance to help, I need to buy a car, but I don't have the finances, or I, need to pay my bills, or I need to do this. You can ask Uriel, and you can ask, which one was abundance? Uriel. You can say, please help me find the abundance. Please help me, show me the steps. And next thing you know, you're going to get a check in the mail from Publishers Clearinghouse or whatever. Or someone will be able to loan you money, right? Like they will send you
what you need
and synchronicities at those times when you just open,
That's
and
cool.
say, I would like to obtain these things. I would like to buy this new apartment, right? But it's way out of my pay grade, and I can't afford it. But they'll give you the courage to ask, maybe if you can, lower the rent. And next thing you know, maybe they'll cut you down right away. But a couple of days later, they'll say, you know what, they agreed to it, and you can move in next week. These are the synchronicities that will start to happen.
Which is really cool. And I think what's really cool here too is that we're talking about this, and you had mentioned a book that was talking about the guides, and it was Choquette as her.
Yes.
Ask Your Guides.
Sonia Choquette, Ask Your Guides.
Yeah. And I started to, I can't say read, started to listen to it. And it was one of those things that she had actually talked about something like that specifically, where she and her daughter had moved to France and they wanted to move to Paris after they'd been there for a little while. I know it sounds really tough, but she found an apartment there that she thought it was perfect and everything was beautiful and it was right where they wanted to be. But she's like, oh, geez, I can't, I just can't afford that. And she asked her guides of what to do. And they were just basically, or the angels said, ask the question, and the realtor wouldn't do it. And she just finally kept going, just ask. And the realtor did begrudgingly. And the person accepted it because she went back with their finances and said, this is what I can afford, which was a fraction of what they were asking. And the person accepted it. So those are the things it gives, when somebody was saying, I pray all the time and nothing happens. I don't hear it, blah, 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 blah. that's an example of it that they probably ignored. It was like, oh, well, the person must have been
Right. The
desperate.
person said, no, that's it. I'm going to be living out of my car for the rest of my life. Right.
Right. But
Right.
it
So
takes
that's
care of
how angels come in, and they in ways that you don't, it's not direct, right? It's that,
Right.
like she said in her book, how, it just, they nudged her to ask.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
where the gentle nudge comes. And then all of a
That's
sudden you're
exactly
like, oh
what
my God, I came
she
I
said.
don't even know why those words just came out of my mouth. And if that's an amazing, she's amazing. And she wrote the book, Ask Your Guides. And she speaks about how as a young girl, her mother always says, well, what do your guides say? What do your, what do your guides say? And her mom
Right.
always had her checking in and going within and asking what was it.
Which was the first time I'd ever heard anyone say that in any of the things that I've listened to, or and I'll use air quotes for read. That was the first time that somebody had actually indicated that their parents were of that ilk or mindset that this is what you do. And she said, she went to a Catholic school, I believe. And she said, well, I couldn't say to my friend Mary that, hey, I'm going to talk to Angel so-and-so for this. And, what should I eat? What should, things like that. What's going to be the best thing for me today? And she said, because they would think that I was crazy.
Yeah.
But her mom did that. You're right. And
that's what I loved about, when
amazing.
She expressed that in her book, was that when my brother passed, I didn't have I had to move past the fear of telling my, parents or whatever that I speak to angels all the time, and that he's safe and that he's okay. And if you miss him and you want to speak to him, you can. And now it's great. They text me all the time, like, we got a message from my brother, and they're
so
open,
cool.
and it helps dissolve the grief. Right. And it helps, yes, you have to go through it all. And but someone had once told me that my life purpose has become helping people connect and helping people move through their grief, because of the loss that I've experienced over the past several years, has even grounded me even further into living with the angelic realm. And not that, I ask them for every little move that I make, you can get over, you can get too,
well, you almost get paralyzed by stuff too, right?
Your angels say it's okay. Yeah. But it's interesting how when you just let go and just, trust and be open to what happens, be open to, experiences. And what I love is, like, back in ancient times, the mystics were just open to new experiences. They didn't have any fear around what was around the corner. They were just open to what life was going to bring them. And they knew that they were going to be able to survive and get through anything.
Yeah, that's something. I mean,
even in the Bible, they talk about, like, moving through, the mass exodus when the Jews left Egypt, and they were, on that.
Let my people go. That's
they were guided, right? They were guided, and those angels, they say,
Moses,
like, surrounded them with perseverance and patience and, compassion for one another and hope, right? So that's what they were infusing in them, so that they didn't give up and they didn't go to battle and they didn't betray each other, and that the angels walked among them. So it was like, that's how the angels work. They walk with you, they're next to you. They do, you may not see them physically. Sometimes you get the chills in the back of your neck, or, in your arms, and you can feel their presence, but that's when you really kind of, but just know that they're always with you.
So maybe Raphael's right next to me going, where's your Messiah now? That's all I kept hearing was Moses, the Ten Commandments.
That was a great movie. I watched that recently over Easter, and it was incredible. So just know that they're with you, and know when you're asking out of ego and lack and just being, like, whiny and, woe is me, and you're in victimhood and this is always happening to me. And your angels are really going to give you what you need.
For you.
It's going to, they're going to give you what you need. They're not going to give you what you want.
So then, with that being said, let's transition a little bit into guides, because it seems to me from what you were saying that the guides, okay, so the guardian angel was somebody that wasn't earthly bound or whatever, had an earthly existence. But you're saying that the guides are your spirit guides, are people that walked
in human
which I
form.
guess kind of makes sense from the day-to-day
Yeah.
type of deal.
Yeah.
So even in our pre-meeting, I was like, who are you going to call? Like Ghostbusters
Yeah.
with I guess no, it wasn't originally, there was no pun intended, but I guess pun intended. With that, from your spirit guides, it's the same type of deal though, right? Where you can call on, is that what you were saying, that you could call on your spirit guides as well?
Call on your spirit, and what they are is those angels are gonna compel you to act, and maybe not prevent you from wasting time, right?
Okay.
They're like your how do you say, like foot soldiers. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
the archangels are the closest to God, and then your other angels and spirit guides are like the foot soldiers. They're the ones that are getting it done.
The day to day.
They're getting it done, but they come in all forms, right? So anytime you have any issue and need help with that, you can call on your spirit guide. And the same way you do meditation and meet them is the way you meet the archangels, but they come and go throughout periods of your life. So when you're younger and your spirit guides are around you, they're helping you kind of form who you are. And then when you're maybe in middle school or high school, there's ones that are going to they're going to come in, help and intervene with what you need, and then they're going to leave. So spirit guides are interchangeable, and they move in and out of your life through different periods of
I was going to ask that question.
transition. Whether you're going maybe through a divorce or a childbirth, or you want to conceive, or whatever problem, any and all problems, they're there to intervene. Now,
That was a weird visual for me with conceive. I'm like, no, you're in the wrong angle. You've got, yeah. So anyway,
a lot of times when people say, "Can you, my parents are going in for surgery, or my loved one's going in for surgery, can you send Reiki?" So what I do is I call on the angels and spirit guides, and I'll send Reiki over to that person. But what I always do is I always ask for the angels to move through the surgeon's hands so that this operation will be to the best the quality that it could be. Right. So you want to, have the angels and guides be around the patient. You want the angels and guides to be around the surgeon and the medical team, so that their guides and angels are assisting them.
No, that's very cool. Because I had a friend of mine whose daughter was just at Mayo and had a major the thoracic surgery, and that was one of the things that I had asked, because I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, my thoughts and prayers are with you," and obviously they are, and with their daughter during the surgery. But I also included the surgeons in that prayer too, to just do whatever they can and give them the best positive energy and to get through that and be successful. And it was the interesting thing, and they're great people, and fairly spiritual and religious. So I know that they had a good prayer group, a good sized prayer group. But what's interesting about this is what was supposed to take 2 weeks took 3 days in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
3 days. And they were just like, from all the tubes and on a ventilator and ICU, induced coma and everything like that, to 3 days later. And on the 4th day, coming home. 2 weeks were supposed to be there and home in 4 days. And it was just like, holy cow. There's something to that. I don't know, I don't know what it is, but that positive energy, positive vibrations, that, the
And
power
the
of
power
prayer,
of
all of
prayer,
those things.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
the
Power of
power of
prayer.
prayer, and it doesn't matter what prayers. It's just that with the angelic realm, the basic thing is they're there to intervene. That's what they want to do, and we forget. We forget, and you want to ask them in a place not coming from lack. You want to have an open heart, and you always want to express gratitude. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for your assistance. And always come from a place of gratitude, because they love that. You know what I mean? That I know I am in full faith that you will help, and for the highest good of all concerned. And when you know that, and say this, say the operation didn't last, longer than 4 days, she wasn't recovering, or they had complications, know and trust that everything is happening for a
Everything's going to
reason.
be fine. Yeah.
Know that, know that the outcome for the
Or for a
greatest good of
reason,
all
for the right
concerned,
reason.
right? Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of things, but just call on their angels. When you're parents and you're worried about your kids and they have a
Right.
heartbreak or whatever, call on their angels. Ask for assistance. Please surround and provide them with the love and the compassion that they need. Please help them. So it works in amazing ways. We just have to know that we can ask, and it's
Mm-hmm.
never too little or too big of a request, and that we have to just lean in and trust and know that they're gonna, it's gonna show up in a way that maybe we didn't expect. Not what we want, it's what we need. They're gonna
Right.
give us
Right.
what we need, not what we want. And we're gonna express gratitude that, thank you for hearing me.
The practice of gratitude is such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Speaking of tools, I wasn't going to name any names, by the way. Speaking of tool, I'm a big tool. Sorry. We were talking in the opening of the show about a card reading, and what we did beforehand. So typically, Irene has a number of different cards or sets of cards, oracle cards, that she uses, and I'm saying it wrong, but it could be angel, archangel cards, different things like that. So what we did is, ahead of time, I chose the decks to use for today, and Irene shuffled them up and everything. And if you wouldn't mind, if you can go through what you're, like, a typical type of preparation that you do for the reading, because I'm cutting it down and I'm probably screwing
Yeah,
something up, but
sure. So what I do is usually when I, begin a reading or whatever, the day before or the morning of, whenever it is, I ask the God and the angels to be a clear and open channel. That that the person that I'm reading is going to be clear and open and ready to receive the hope and healing messages that the angels have. So really, what I'm doing is through the cards. It's a divination tool to be able to just move through the reading. Now, what I love about my ADD minds, and Metatron helps with ADHD, so he's like my buddy. So
mine too.
yeah. So what happens is when you're moving the cards and you're doing automatic writing and you're doing things, my left brain is busy, right? So it's busy doing, and then I'm listening, and I'm chat. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of separates
Right.
the two. So it's great while I'm shuffling and doing, and then you get in the zone, and I, do my meditation before I ask for God and the angels to allow me to be a clear and open channel to give you the hope and healing messages that you need to hear. Not that you
Right.
want to hear, that you need to hear for the day. And if we're doing a reading and you have a specific question, if it's a love reading or work or, relationships, whatever, we can work on that. We can ask the angels as we go. Or we just, are open to what messages you need to receive today.
Which is what we went with for today.
Yes. So, right. It's what you need to hear or whatever, the collective.
What I need to hear.
What
I need to
we
hear.
use Jim as a guinea pig today. So
Yeah.
you can always angels love to be acknowledged also before we start the reading. So anytime I do a reading, I always put on some nice music. I light a candle. I dim the lights a little bit to give that. They love that. They love to come around and connect to that, that beautiful space. They love music. They love, little sweets. Sometimes you can leave a little mint out or whatever,
Oh, wow.
as a sacred ritual, you know what I mean?
Right.
To invite them into your home and into your space,
As a
so
thank you.
I always, just light a candle. I listen to, I put on some YouTube, a little, Reiki music, and
Mm-hmm.
it really just invites spirit to come in and assist us in the reading. So I'm going to start with the Archangel Michael cards. I have a million card decks. It becomes a bit of an issue, but I usually have the sitter will pick their decks. They pick, usually about 3 decks. They
Mm-hmm.
use the power of surrender cards of what we need to let go of, and then I usually end my readings with your specific guardian angel cards, and we just have some fun.
Excellent.
All right, so you're ready. So I want you to just take a few deep breaths. I want you to be open. I want you to ask your angels and guides to tell you what you need to know most at this time. And that you're open to receive. And here we go. So what I always also tell my sitters is that this is a three-way conversation between me, you, and spirit. So when you get that, psychic amnesia, and you're like, no, it's not resonating. No, it's not, it kind of cuts off the connection. So the more
Right.
open you are just to receive, the better the readings go. So just Jim, just tell me when to stop, just so it's all about you.
It's always all about me. Stop.
Okay, so your cards are
Is there a narcissist angel?
prayer from the heart. Look, that's you and your mom.
Yeah.
Prayer really can move mountains. Reach out to the divine with their heart's concerns and watch the miracles unfold.
That's cool.
Be honest with yourself. Ooh, sorry, my camera's not. I'm showing the cards for people that are listening. I'm just showing Jim the faces and the images on the cards. All your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth and let Source take it from there. And you are protected.
That's cool. That's a good one.
You are safe within my bubble of light, and you can proceed with confidence. So now if I'm sitting with you, I would ask you, are you resonating with these 3 cards that I pulled for you right now? Is that what's coming up for you?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And then, so what it's saying is exactly what we're just talking about. When you put your hand on your heart, right, and pray from the heart, not the ego. And you even said that before, right? When we're coming from that ego space and materialistic things, that's not what it's about. It's connecting from your heart, and it can move with that. With the power of prayer, can move mountains, right? And give
That was a good
all your
example of it.
worries and concerns over and watch the miracles unfold. And when you're honest with yourself, and you're, even when you're feeling those difficult ones, accept your truth. What is your truth, right? And let Source take it from there. Knowing that, when we get real, and it's funny that I think we were just talking about that earlier, like getting real with yourself. We're asking from victimhood and lack and like,
Right.
life's not going good. And but we got to get real with how we're showing up in the world, because that, when we get real with ourselves, that's when even the difficult conversations, when we accept the truth of all the parts of ourselves, that's when the angels can step in and start making the shifts. And then knowing that you're protected, you're safe within the bubble of light, and you can proceed with confidence. This is giving you the green light to whatever it is that's in your way, right? Proceed with confidence.
Yeah.
So whatever's going on in your internal world, and the question that you're having is it's giving you the green light, and
To
it's
go, go,
giving you
go.
the confidence to continue. And these are the Archangel Michael cards, so they're always blue and there's always swords. Just to give you guys a description of what's going
That's
on.
excellent.
Now you picked another deck, and this is called the Soul's Journey deck. And Jim, just tell me when to stop, and I will.
Stop.
Okay. So your first card is Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenge. Where are you judging yourself and others? Right? Where are you that everyone has their own unique path? Is that something that comes up for you?
Oh, for sure. Especially when somebody says, well, don't waste your time on this, do this. And I'm like, well.
Right. And if it's not resonating with you,
Right.
take what resonates and leave the rest. Right. And even with the angels and their guidance, if it's not resonating with you and you're like, my gut's not telling me, I don't know if this is really for me, but just notice the difference if you're in your ego or you're in your heart space. Right. And knowing that everyone has their own unique path, and we all have our, opinions and suggestions, but if it's not resonating with you, follow your heart.
Right.
Your angels will always want you to guide you with following your heart. And your next card is Grief.
Interesting.
I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. What's coming up for you?
Probably, actually, a number of things, to be honest. But yeah, there are a number of things as it relates to that.
And
the loss
you don't
of
have
something.
to share it.
No. But
we're on air, but notice that. Understanding that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. What do you need to kind of I don't want to say mourn the loss of, but just
recognize it. Yeah,
recognizing it, and just you can journal about it, and just see what you need to help you move forward.
That's cool.
Okay. And failure. I understand that a mistake is only the opportunity to learn.
That's really interesting. Especially when we talk about, so I'll just take a moment here, because especially when this platform, we're talking about a podcast where, if you ever listen, let's say, for example, anybody out there that wants to do a podcast, don't let anybody else stop you from doing it. If it's something that's in your heart and it's something that you want to do, and you feel compelled to do it. Don't let that stop you, because I can tell you firsthand that I've wanted to do a podcast for a few years now, but I wasn't listening to an inner voice. I was listening to outer voices when it said, when I'm being told, don't do that. That's a waste of time. Why are you doing that? What is it that, what attention do you need from doing this? And the fact of the matter was, this wasn't about attention for me. It was about raising attention in other areas, or bringing attention to other areas, such as the coming out of the spiritual closet. Because I think I know I can't be alone here when it comes to having questions, and your initial response is because it doesn't make sense. You go, no, that's bullshit. It's just coincidence. It's coincidence. But when coincidence after coincidence happens, it can't be coincidence anymore. It's a pattern that starts to occur. So again, going back to if you just listen to everybody else instead of what's in there, in your heart and in your own internal voice, that's a failure to launch situation. every single time. And, not every episode or every attempt is a winner, but I do view this as an opportunity to at least introduce people to things, which is never a loss, which is never a failure.
And I was just going to say that to you, that it's going to touch someone, and someone
Right.
your courage and your guidance that was saying, I'm going to open up start my Drop the Needle podcast. And with all your doubts and reservations and, judgments around that, you're here and you're doing it. And through synchronicities and everything else, I'm here today. And maybe during any of your episodes so far, there's one, even if it reaches one person that needs to hear these messages and give them the hope and healing that they can do that too.
Right.
That's what it's about. And that's spirit guiding you to overcome your fears and worries and doubts and, your concerns about spending this much amount of time, constructing the whole back end of what it takes to, create a podcast.
Yeah.
And, having the opportunity for your listeners to sit here and listen to us cackle and laugh and but share our message, right?
Right.
And that's human connection. And that's what how the angels work, is that we build connection. We come from a place of love, hope, and healing, and they push us through the judgment and the failure, because I understand that my mistakes are only opportunities to learn. And our mistakes, our message. So when we're sitting here and we're being vulnerable and we're laughing about, to ourselves and stuff, that's what people need to hear, because then they don't take themselves so seriously, and say, what, let me drop the rope for a minute and have the courage, or, kind of scratch that creativity itch and see what lights me up and what they can bring to the world. Right. So that's what, it's about, is having the courage that failure is just an opportunity to learn.
Well, I remember when I was just a young boy, and my mom's father, my grandpa Reinhardt, would always say to me, "The Lord hates a coward, Jimmy. Let's go." and so, I mean, when it came to the starting the Drop the Needle podcast, I kept hearing that, "The Lord hates a coward. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go." Because I can tell you this, I don't necessarily seek attention from this. It ain't easy, because this goes out and it's out. and people out there will pick you apart if that's what they want to do. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. But if you don't do something because of that one person that is got so much going on inside that's going to pick you apart, you'll never start anything. So anyway, on with the next.
And just as a quick side note to that, is those people that do that, surf the internet and just love to
troll,
pick people apart and judge and criticize. That's their own journey right now. And you have love and compassion for them, because right now they're just not in a good space. And right now they're not, in a space of love and wholeness, right? Which is our right as humans to have that love and creativity and the self-expression. And when they are just hurt people. And
that's true.
You just gotta not let it affect you. Right?
Is there a fuck off angel?
It's what other people.
That's what I want to know.
And I tell my kids, it's what other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Because
that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Right? And really lean into that and say, well, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they'll come back. And if they don't, that's up to them.
What card did you drop?
I know. Surrender comparison with other people.
Ha! I knew there was a reason that card dropped.
Oh,
I knew it.
They never lie. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. I am taking a picture of that for you, and I'm sending it to you.
That's very cool.
Indian on the card.
We can put that on the promo. That's
Yeah, yeah.
There was a reason, and you were
Right?
just going to pick it up and put it back. It's like, well,
Yep.
hold on a second.
Surrender the comparison with other people. And this is how it
That's
works.
very
So
cool.
for those of you who are listening, it's there's a free flowing conversation. And when it's about you, me, and spirit, it just, as our conversations are unfolding and the cards come out, it paints the story. And it's so unavoidable to not see, the synchronicities and the flow that
That
goes
was a
through.
big chill there. That was
Yes,
so
that was.
freaky.
So
Wow.
before we run out of time, I want to just give you your own personal guardian angel message right
Thank you.
now, and you just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. And this is from my friend Jim. Opportunity. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities await you. Stop dwelling on past mistakes. Surrender the past lovingly. There is nothing to regret. All is always in perfect and divine order. Everything that you've ever experienced has helped you in some way. The past is behind you. The path is ahead and clear. Move forward joyfully, fully, and fulfill your heart's desires.
That's pretty cool. I'll take that.
I'll take that. Those are usually my drop the mic cards
I like
at
that.
the end, right? So, and
Yay.
then what we do is we dig deeper into the card meanings, and we kind of pull out, individually when we're in a private session, of what it's meaning for you, and what, we can unblock it, and then we really kind of personalize what needs to be done, what you need to let go of, what, because the
Right.
cards will show you, the angels will tell you what you need to hear. The cards will show you what's in the way. Now it's your free will. Like I said, Archangel Michael will clear the way, but are you ready to step through the door to those new
To
opportunities?
be or not to be.
Yeah. So it's always up to you and free will. So this is what an oracle card reading that I do is to kind of show you what the obstacles are. Are you ready to push through and move? If not, that's okay. It's there.
Right.
The opportunity is there when you're ready, and then we call upon the angels to help soften those feelings, soften those negative beliefs, soften the moving through the grief. Losing
Right.
something helps you appreciate it. Failure is just an opportunity to learn from your mistakes. Like, this is what your angels are kind of just maybe is going on in your inner world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just surrender comparison with other people.
Yeah, I love that. That's good stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's just a little glimpse into the world of magic.
Yeah, I know it's pretty cool stuff.
It becomes, for those of you out there, I know we're going to start wrapping it up soon, is embrace the magic of the angels, embrace the magic of the universe. There is such beauty. Get out in nature, look up in the sky, talk to your angels from a place of love and gratitude. Show me my next steps. Just be open. And if those of you listened last week, I'd love to hear if you got your sign, right? When we asked the universe to show you a sign, get a hold of Jim and let him know, how that all worked out. Because once you're open and you drop the rope of your humanness, of living in that logical mind, prove to me, make sense, show me, and start living from a place from your heart. And you're going to see
Starts
magic
flowing on in. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So before we get to some of the musical questions, I want to let everyone know. So this was part 3 of 3 of Coming Out of the Spiritual Closet. We're going to have another episode kind of tying everything together and wrapping it all up in a pretty little bow for another episode with Irene. We'll close that out, and then we have some other things in the works down the road. But as anyone can tell you that's ever listened to this podcast before, this is the section when I ask the guests some musical questions, and this is pillar 4 of our show. And as you all know, I mention this regularly. Music is the tie that binds, and I believe that everyone has a soundtrack that accompanies their life if they just take a moment to think about it. So what we're going to do today is just a little different. We're going to go basically a recap of some of the questions, and I wanted to see if Irene actually changed some of her mind on some of them, or probably more accurately, if she thought of something else. And that was, what was the first song that you fell in love with from the radio? And this is really to talk about a childhood memory, by the way, for those of you that want to play along out there. It's talking about from your childhood, what was that first song that you go, oh man, I love that. Depending upon your age, it could be like, Daddy, Don't You Walk So Fast from Wayne Newton singing that, or whatever it is, or American Pie, or doesn't really matter. Did anything else come up? Any additional song as far as that was concerned?
The journey definitely had an impact on me, and I don't want to just pick the "Don't Stop Believin'" song, but that was always a really kind of got you there, that you just wanted to sing out loud. It was like, oh, I can't wait to hear it again. And we're old, so we had to wait for it to come back around the radio
and the playlist. Right.
The radio,
the rotation,
Spotify, that you could just play whatever you want. So I remember just always being like, it's on, and
that's a good one.
Just the music alone, and forgetting even the lyrics, but this, just that always one of my faves.
Absolutely. You know what? What I'm going to do here too is I'm going to let everyone know. We'll go on to the last portion because we are really pressed for time. What we had talked about is coming up with some songs that maybe tied in with some of the series. So, for example, the first one would be Energy and Intuition. Were there any songs that you could think of? And I had a distinct advantage as it relates to this, energies, intuitions, and one of them. Can I start?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see what I was going with this. I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas. Yeah. I love that one.
One of my faves. So
I kind of figured you'd like that because it's just an upbeat you type of song. Blinded by the Light.
Definitely.
That's a good one. I like that. I think it's Manfred Mann. No, it's 10cc.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Not the Bruce Springsteen version, but
I apologize for my singing.
Yeah, sorry, boss.
He has the voice of an angel. I'm like, forget it. It's terrible. You don't want to hear it.
Oh yeah, no. I Got the Power. By is it CC Music Fest? Yeah, I knew that would get you going.
I'm like dancing in my chair right now. Yeah, oh my goodness, he's like a mastermind.
Yeah,
in my just send me playlists every day. Yes, definitely.
I love that. And this one is for one that you you're still dancing.
Play it.
Yeah. From high school when you were like that headbanger, AC/DC, High Voltage. Yeah, that one came out. I was thinking about you, but I've got another one when we get down a little bit farther. So some of the side effects from that was like when you feel that energy, the intuition, so you don't think you're crazy. Crazy, Patsy Cline. Crazy by Seal. You know that song?
Sing that.
If I ever get unless I get a little crazy.
Another amazing song.
Oh, I just gave myself the chills from that one. It's not because of my voice. Unless we get a little. Yeah. We can cut that out. Yeah. Here's one that, because I'm a Billy Joel fan, It's a Matter of Trust. That was one that came up. So then, did any come up for you on that? Thinking about what we were
doing.
Okay.
They're an open musical channel.
I'm telling you, this has just started coming out. So, songs about signs and synchronicities. The Sign by Ace of Base. I Saw the Sign.
Yes.
That was one I thought for you. Yeah.
I said I was never going to sing on this episode.
And all you do is.
How about this? I'm
I
done.
love it. I love it. So there was one called Sign of the Times from Harry Styles, and I hadn't heard that before. And I listened to it, and it was actually a really neat song. Sign of the Times, and Sign O the Times by Prince, of course. That's a good one. Here's one about signs. Sign, Seal, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. I love that freaking song. See? Yeah.
Just gonna listen to music all day.
Here I am, baby. Oh yeah, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Yeah,
We're like
love that.
We've become a tag team.
I know
what's happening.
I know. So
have the Jim and Irene show coming soon.
yes. Spirit and Spirit. Yeah.
Spirit on the radio, right?
Yeah, Spirit. Well, that was so here we go. That was the songs about part 3.
Right.
Songs about angels, heaven, or spirit. Spirit of Radio, Rush.
Yeah.
That's all, and that's a good one. Damn,
you made fun of me on my first episode for liking Rush. You're like, you didn't like Rush. I'm like, I did.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so
I'll let you talk.
Yeah, you know what? But you're the second woman that I've met that likes Rush. I mean, there's not many women that'll go, "Oh yeah, I loved Rush," and then when I named the song, you knew the album too, and I was like, okay, so she knew Rush. Cool, I gotcha.
Yeah.
In a because a lot of times you're gonna say, oh yeah, Rush and Motley Crue and what do you know? Nothing. But you did, so I was impressed. Major props. So. Heaven, there's a lot of Heaven songs, right? There's Bryan Adams' Heaven, which is a great song. You remember Bryan Adams?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Is that I know there's something in heaven?
Oh, what is it?
That song, it's kind of like, I know there must be more in heaven. I don't know. I'm not singing that one.
Oh no, Bryan Adams. I'm trying to get it in my mind. I'm drawing a blank on it. Okay, so there is Broken Wing too. We talk about angels, Broken Wing, and that could be Mr. or I think it's Little Wing is the one that is Jimi Hendrix, and then Sting does a version of it, which is amazing. She Talks to Angels by Black Crowes. You know that one, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that one before. Yeah. That's a great song. Undercover Angel. You know that one? Undercover Angel, Midnight Fantasy. Yeah, it's about sex. It's not about angels. But anyway, Angel Eyes. That's a good one. Oh, to scratch your country itch. Kane Brown's got one called Heaven.
Oh, yeah?
He does. Los Lonely Boys happens to be one of my favorite Heaven songs. And if you don't know it, do yourself a favor. Go on Spotify. Los Lonely Boys, Heaven. Fantastic. Jelly Roll's got a song, Heaven. So, yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking about for.
Yeah, that's going to be an amazing playlist. I can't wait to listen to that one.
You know what? I can't either. Now that I started talking about it, I'm like, holy shit, I got to put this together. It's I'm psyched about that. I am totally psyched about that.
And I feel like I've said, this podcast is just music is the ties that bond, and it brings you right back to the moment, or it brings you right back to a memory where you listen to these songs and really how the angelic realm works through music, and it works through lyrics, and it just brings human connection. It's such a beautiful thing, and this podcast is just so all encompassing of the spiritual world and the beauty of music, and that everything has its vibration. we have our own signature vibration, each individual soul. And then we have the vibration of love and, just wholeness, and the vibration of music and the lyrical notes, and that it just, everything is energy. It just this whole podcast just ties right in, and it's such a beautiful concept.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
very
just
kind of you.
It's great.
It really is. One thing I want to add before we close out here is, speaking of Spotify, we talk about frequency, and we talk about hertz, not hertz as in that hurts, but with a Z, for frequencies. And if you look on Spotify, you can ask the question, or looking for something frequency. It's called solfeggio music most of the time, and it'll give you those frequencies that are supposed to be healing frequencies.
Yeah.
And there's so much that sound therapy and different things like that for healing practices, believe it or not, because you think about how much of our body is made up of water, and you see what frequency does to water. I'm sure you've seen those experiments that are done. It does that to your body too. It can't not do that to you. There's so much liquid in your body that moves with those frequencies. Check it out, guys. I mean, go ahead and check that out. It'll be interesting. I'd like to know what you think. I do too.
I put on those frequencies, and it's on YouTube, and there's like 11 hours, and I just go to sleep. And
I do the same thing, and I tend to sleep more soundly. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But well, it's just about time to cue the music for today's episode. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Drop the Needle podcast to stay up to date on our latest episodes. I would also like to take a moment to thank everyone again for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoyed the episode of the Drop the Needle podcast. I'd also like to thank our very special guest, Irene Doreste. Thank you again, Irene, for being on our show today. And you can get in touch with Irene through her website, which is www.soulsurgerylifecoaching.com. Again, that's www.soulsurgerylifecoaching.com. Irene's programs are offered as individual or one-on-one sessions, as well as group settings, workshops, and speaking events. And I invite you to head on over to the show notes, where you're going to find the link to today's playlist, which should be freaking awesome. All right, my Drop the Needle posse, like Billy Joel says, from the highs to the lows to the end of our show. This is the end of our show today. Until next time, this is Jim Allstott, wishing you infinite health and happiness and the perfect playlist for your life. Thank you again for being the best part of us. Peace.